The animal kingdom spans every continent on our globe. From the north to the south, the earth teems with wildlife, both great and small. The diversity in size, shape, color, and patterns can only be attributed to a master designer who loves an abundance of variety. Our journey begins in the land down under, also called Australia, a continent located in the southern hemisphere of our planet. Australia is home to many of the world's marsupials, animals that carry their young in pouches, or in some cases, pseudo-pouches. Kangaroos are one of the most popular Australian animals. In fact, there are more kangaroos than humans in Australia. They are the only large animals that move by hopping. All kangaroos are herbivores, meaning they eat only plants. They live in social groups called mobs of at least 3 to 4 kangaroos, although some kangaroo groups can contain as many as 100 kangaroos. Young kangaroos are called joeys. Joeys live in their mother's pouches for around 8 to 11 months. Kangaroos have excellent hearing and are able to move their ears in different directions without moving the rest of their head. Wallabies, which to the untrained eye often look like small kangaroos, also carry their babies, called joeys, in pouches. If the mother wallaby becomes pregnant while another joey is still in the pouch, the wallaby's body will pause the growth of the new baby until the older joey leaves the pouch. Koalas are tree-climbing marsupials, native to the country of Australia. They live and sleep in eucalyptus trees, whose leaves make up their entire diet. In fact, they eat so many leaves that koalas smell like eucalyptus. Koalas are nocturnal, so they sleep most of the day. Koalas can sleep for up to 19 hours. Koalas are not the only tree-climbing herbivores. Ranthambore National Park in northern India is home to grey langur monkeys. These monkeys forage in the trees for food. Langurs are also known as leaf-eating monkeys because they feed mostly on the leaves. However, grey langurs also eat other plant foods, such as fruits, roots, seeds, bamboo, and mosses. Occasionally, non-plant material, such as spider webs or insect larvae, is eaten. Although langurs are plant eaters, not all the animals in Ranthambore National Park are. The langurs are preyed upon by many different animals, including tigers. Tigers are the world's largest cats. The largest tigers are the Siberian or Amur tiger, found in eastern Russia. Unlike domestic cats, tigers love the water. Adult tigers can do a lot of swimming, sometimes even swimming for up to 30 kilometers or 18.5 miles in a day. A tiger's stripes are like a human fingerprint. Each tiger has a distinctly different pattern. But tigers are not the only striped animals with unique patterns. On the continent of Africa, zebras roam the plains. Like the tiger, they also have striped coats, which are unique to each animal. No two zebras are alike. Besides the zebra, the continent of Africa is home to many unique types of animals. Here is the home of the world's largest land animal, the African elephant. With their massive size and strength, elephants are also the world's largest vegetarians. They have a lengthy lifespan of around 70 years. Female elephants are pregnant for about 22 months and give birth to a large baby elephant called a calf. Even though they are babies, at birth, the baby elephant is already about 1 meter or 3 feet tall. Probably the most unique part of the elephant is its long trunk. Elephants drink with their trunks, and the elephant's trunk can hold up to 8 liters or a little over 2 gallons of water. Elephants cannot sweat, so part of the way they cool themselves is with their enormous ears. The elephant's ears have many blood vessels close to the surface of the skin, so body heat can easily escape. They can also use their ears to fan themselves. In wide contrast to the giant elephant with its big ears are some smaller herbivores with long ears, the rabbits and hares. The snowshoe hare on the North American continent has the ability to change its fur coat to match the season. In the summer, he is brown, but in the winter, he turns a snowy white, making it difficult for other animals to see him. This ability to camouflage is used by many other animals around the world. Many baby deer are born with spots, which help them to stay camouflaged. They also have no smell, so predators cannot smell them. Deer live all over the world and on every continent except Antarctica. The largest member of the deer family is the moose, which can get as large as 3.2 meters or 10 feet. Moose babies are called calves, and a female moose will generally give birth to 1 or 2 calves. Despite being herbivores, moose can be quite dangerous with their large antlers and hooves. But even with this protection, they still have some predators. Gray wolves are one of the predators of the moose. Gray wolves are very social animals, traveling together in packs of between 5 to 10 wolves. Wolves are one of the mammals that mate for life. Wolves rely on their good sense of smell and hearing to detect their prey. Although they are not very fast, they are known for having great endurance and will sometimes follow their prey all day and night. Coyotes are smaller than wolves, but they also mate for life. Despite being smaller, they can run much faster than wolves. Much faster than the coyote is the cheetah, the world's fastest mammal. A cheetah can go from 0 to over 60 miles or 96 kilometers an hour in 3 seconds. Despite the fact that cheetahs are the fastest animals, they have short endurance and tire very quickly. They will typically abandon a hunt within 1 minute if it is unsuccessful. Cheetahs are quite solitary animals. The female will often raise the cubs alone until they are a year old. Occasionally, the male cheetahs will live in groups. In contrast to the solitary cheetah are the African lions, the most social of all the big cats. Lions live together in large groups called prides, which contain about 15 lions. Lions actually spend most of their time sleeping. In fact, they can sleep up to 20 hours a day. Although the male lions get to eat first, female lions do most of the hunting. One of the large animals that lions sometimes prey upon is the giraffes. Giraffes are the tallest animals. Adult giraffes have long legs, around 2 meters or 6 feet tall. Giraffes have large hearts that are necessary to pump the blood all the way up the neck to the brain. You can tell a giraffe's age by its spots. Darker spots mean an older giraffe. Like the zebras and tigers, giraffe spots are unique to them. No two giraffes are spotted the exact same. Giraffes are not the only spotted animal with unique spots. Leopard spots are also distinctive, with each leopard having a unique pattern belonging only to him. Leopards are expert hunters. They have good eyes and are able to see in the dark 7 times better than a human. In addition to identification, the spots are helpful in camouflaging the leopard so its prey doesn't see it. But camouflage is not just seen in the world of mammals. Chameleons are well known for their camouflage skills. Resembling little dinosaurs in appearance, these amazing lizards can change their color and pattern to blend in with their surroundings. They also have the unique ability to move their eyes in 2 different directions and have almost 360-degree vision. But the chameleons are not the only reptiles that use camouflage. Some snakes, although they can't change their colors, blend in very well with their surroundings. At first glance, this baby rattlesnake would be difficult to see if it wasn't moving. But rattlesnakes have another way of telling you they are nearby. They make a rattling noise with their tail. Other snakes are a little bit easier to spot, such as the zebra snake, a type of spitting cobra from Africa. This colorful garter snake is also easier to spot. It looks dangerous, but it is actually harmless to humans. Constrictors are a category of snakes that squeeze their prey. Pythons, a type of boa constrictor, are found on 3 different continents and inhabit various different environments, from rainforests to grasslands to semi-deserts. Pythons use their tongues to taste the air to smell for nearby possible prey. While pythons taste the air for prey, they are not the only animal to use their tongues for getting a meal. Anteaters use their long tongues to slurp up their meals of ants and termites. The South American great anteater's tongue can be as long as 2 feet, or 61 centimeters. Some smaller and more common creatures that use their tongues to catch insects are frogs and toads. Frogs are found on every continent except Antarctica. Some are very plain-looking, while others are more brilliantly tinted. A number of the brightly colored frogs in South America have skin secretions so toxic that 1 drop can kill an adult human. A very interesting type of frog is the glass frog that has translucent skin. Frogs are amphibians, a word from the Greek meaning both lives. This is because frogs start their life in the water and then end up on land. Frogs start out life in eggs, then gradually hatch as small swimming tadpoles, and later grow legs and lose their tail as they become an adult frog. There are other small creatures that go through major life changes. Butterflies and moths go through a special process called metamorphosis. Butterflies start out their lives in eggs, then hatch as caterpillars that continue to grow larger. Next, they enter into a chrysalis, later on emerging into a beautiful butterfly. One of the most widely recognized and studied butterflies is the monarch butterfly, a native to North and South America. Every year, the monarch butterfly of North America makes an amazing migration. Some of these butterflies travel all the way to Mexico. They are the only butterflies known to migrate, like birds, for the winter. Another animal that makes long migrations is the caribou, or reindeer. They can travel more than 3,000 miles, or 4,800 kilometers, between where they give birth and where they spend the winter. Unlike other deer, both male and female caribou have antlers. Caribou have many different predators, such as bears and wolves. But they also have a smaller predator, the wolverine. Wolverines are the largest member of the weasel family, and their scientific name means glutton. Wolverines will eat basically anything they can get their paws on. They have strong, bone-breaking jaws and often eat the bones and even the teeth of animals. On the continent of Africa lives another bone-crushing predator. Spotted hyenas can crack open bones nearly 2.5 inches, or 6.4 centimeters, in diameter. Hyenas are especially social animals and do not enjoy being alone. Another very social animal that lives in Africa is the African wild dog. African wild dogs live in packs. Their scientific name means painted wolf. Like some of the other animals we have talked about, no two dogs have the same markings. Each one has its own unique look. Many different animals have unique individual patterns. Although they often look alike to the untrained eye, scientists have found that individual bats can also be identified by examining patterns of collagen elastin bundles on the bat's wings. There are over 1,400 species of bats worldwide. The littlest bat weighs less than a penny and is the smallest mammal. The largest bat is a type of flying fox. Flying foxes can have wingspans of 6 feet or 2 meters. Bats are very beneficial for controlling insects, such as mosquitoes. Every night, a bat will eat its body weight or more of insects. Another creature that is beneficial for controlling some insects is actually an insect itself. The ladybug is a common and well-loved insect in the garden. There are more than 5,000 species of ladybugs in the world. They eat aphids and other insects that can prove problematic to crops. One ladybug can eat around 5,000 insects in its lifetime. Ladybugs are active during the summer, but when it is winter, the ladybugs hibernate in colonies that can contain thousands of the tiny creatures. But this small insect is not the only creature that hibernates. A much larger animal, the grizzly bear, also hibernates, sleeping through much of the winter. Grizzly bears are very large bears, with some of the largest being reported to stand at least 3 meters or almost 10 feet tall on their hind legs. A perhaps less publicized type of bear in North America is the black bear. Black bears are smaller and less aggressive than grizzlies. They also feed on more vegetation and berries. Black bears are actually quite intelligent and have a good long-term memory. While in the far north, the largest bear, the polar bear, is searching the ice for food. Over in Asia, the panda bear feeds chiefly on bamboo. Another animal, called a red panda, also feeds chiefly on bamboo. In fact, the name panda is said to come from a Nepali word meaning bamboo, or plant-eating animal. Regrettably, both types of pandas are considered endangered. But pandas are not the most endangered species in Asia. Living on the islands of Borneo and Sumatra in Indonesia, orangutans, a type of ape, are considered critically endangered. Orangutans are the largest tree-living mammals. In fact, the name orangutan means man of the forest in the Malay language. Gorillas are another type of ape considered to be critically endangered. They live in Central African forests. They are the largest primates, bigger than any other monkeys or apes. Baby gorillas spend a lot of time with their mothers until they are 4 or 6 years old. They are great imitators and learn by copying what they see others do. Rhinos are another critically endangered African animal. Rhinos are a very large animal. In fact, some can weigh over 3 tons. What does the rhino eat to become so big and strong? A diet which consists mainly of leaves and grass. While male rhinos are called bulls and the females called cows, a group of rhinos is called a crash. Rhinos love mud and can often be seen rolling in it. This gives them a protective mud coat that keeps them cool and keeps insects away. Rhinos are poor swimmers, but another large African animal loves the water. The hippopotamus's name actually means river horse in the Greek. Though they love the water, hippos must resurface every 3 to 5 minutes to breathe. This is automatic, and the hippos will do it even while they are sleeping. While they look like they would be very slow, hippos can actually run up to 30 kilometers or 19 miles an hour, and are considered to be one of the most aggressive animals in Africa. Another big animal that can run fast for its size is the American bison. They can reach speeds of 35 miles or 56 kilometers an hour. The American bison is the largest animal in North America. Bison are very social and live in groups called herds, which sometimes can be extremely large. A much smaller social creature is the honeybee. Honeybees live in hives that can be the home of up to 60,000 bees. Honeybees are very clean creatures and keep the hive very neat and tidy. Bees are very organized, and different bees are given different jobs. Many of the bees travel to flowers and collect pollen for making honey. Besides bees, there are other insects that live in colonies and rely on their great numbers to make life run smoothly. Ants live all over the world in large colonies. There are more than 12,000 species of ants. Though small, ants are very hard-working, industrious, and persevering creatures. Of them, the wisest man wrote, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways, and be wise." Ants are strong creatures and can lift 20 times their body weight. Leafcutter ants can lift 50 times their body weight. But as strong as ants are, they are not the strongest insect. Dung beetles are the world's strongest insect. They live on every continent except Antarctica. A male dung beetle can lift something more than 1,100 times its body weight. As one might suspect, strength is not just found in the insect world. Crocodiles have the strongest bite of any animal in the world. However, though they have the strongest bite, the muscles for opening their mouth are rather weak. Crocodiles are able to replace each of their teeth up to 50 times. Crocodiles often hunt by hiding rather than by chasing. They can stay submerged in the water for 2 hours waiting for prey. But crocodiles are not the only reptiles that hunt by hiding. Komodo dragons also hunt, sometimes waiting hours for prey to cross their paths. Komodo dragons are the world's biggest lizards. They can grow up to 10 feet, or 3 meters long. Another animal that often hunts by ambush or surprise attack is the mountain lion, or cougar of North and South America. Mountain lions are the 4th largest species of wildcats. One of the creatures that mountain lions prey on in South America is the guanaco. Guanacos are members of the camel family. They often live at high altitudes. Guanacos have special hearts and red blood cells that help them to live at altitudes with lower oxygen. Guanacos are not the only members of the camel family that are well adapted for their environments. Camels are known for their ability to survive without food and water for very long periods of time. The word camel actually comes from an Arabic word meaning beauty, and although not all might agree with this description, one must admit the usefulness and uniqueness of the camel. Indeed, our loving Creator fashioned many varieties of animals for our benefit and enjoyment. They come in all shapes and sizes, large animals and small animals, beautiful animals and less attractive ones, soft ones and prickly ones, fast animals and slow ones. Day by day, the silent testimony of these amazing creatures reminds mankind to remember now thy Creator. Truly, all of creation testifies to the power, wisdom, and attention of a loving God. We find extending to the farthest reaches of the globe nature's undeniable witness that this is indeed a planet by design.